What's going on, guys? It's Jerron Mont, and it's finally that time. NBA opening night, Kia Tip-Off 2018 is finally upon us, and we are going to celebrate by entering a contest where you can win $1 million. I know it sounds like a long shot, but it's still a shot. We are going to be doing the NBA Pick'em contest. Now, this is a contest you can enter. You don't have to do anything. It's completely free. All you got to do is click the link in the description box below. It'll take you over there, and we can do this together. As you're watching this video, we can go through each of these teams and try to figure out if their projected amount of wins is higher or lower than it should be. That's basically what you got to do. You just got to say, I think the Atlanta Hawks are going to have less than 26 wins or more than 26 wins. If you get all 30 teams right, you could be a millionaire. Think about all of the sneakers you can buy with $1 million. It's worth a shot if you ask me. So let's get started. Let's do this together. All right, so the first team are the Atlanta Hawks. Their projected amount of wins is 26.5, and you could choose the over or the under. Now, if you choose over, you better hope they win 27 games. If you choose under, anything below 26 and under is going to get you the win for that selection. Now, for me, I think the Atlanta Hawks are going to be one of the worst teams in the league, but I do think they're going to be fun to watch. I think Trae Young is going to be a very, very good basketball player. They won 24 games last year. They're saying Trae Young is worth 2 wins here. I don't think they're going to get there. They don't have enough players, so under for the Atlanta Hawks. Next, the Boston Celtics. They are projected to win 58 wins. Last year, they had 55. Now they have a full squad. I'm going over for this. I think they're going to be the best team in the East. There's really only one other team, which we'll get to, that can really get them for that number 1 spot. The only way the Celtics do not surpass 58 wins is if they have the disease of me. Like Pat Riley would say, guys are getting a little selfish. They think they should be playing more. They think they should be scoring more because they got a lot of great players. Their rotation is super deep. I think 58 wins is easy. They're a 60-win team. Automatic. They're just too good. They're too talented. I'm going over for the Boston Celtics. Now, next up, we got the Brooklyn Nets. Now, this is an interesting team because I think they might have a shot at the playoffs. However, the Nets have their own draft pick for the first time and what feels like forever. So that does give them incentive to maybe not win a couple games. I know that's a huge no-no. You don't want to say tank and all that stuff, but we got to call it like it is. I think they have incentive to go under, but I think Kenny Atkinson, I think he's a gamer. He's going to want to win a lot of games. You can't tell players to tank. They got a lot of talent if they're healthy. I'm going slight over. I don't think they're going to win a ton of games, but 29.5 does seem reasonable. They just got to get 30 wins, so I'm going over on that one. But really, they should go under. All right, next up, we got the Charlotte Hornets. Their projected wins is 35.5. That puts them right around last year. They won 36 games. So if you go over, all they have to do is win the same amount of games as they did last year. And I think they will. No more Dwight Howard. I like the coach. Malik Monk had a really bad year last year. I'm looking for him to bounce back. Their new rookie, Miles Bridges, looks extremely electric. I really like the Charlotte Hornets. Hopefully Batum, Tony Parker are healthy and they can contribute. Kemba Walker going into a contract year. I think the Charlotte Hornets are going to be in play for the 8th seed, so I am going over. They're definitely going to need more than 36 wins to be in the playoff conversation. All right, next up, we got the Chicago Bulls. Last year, they won 27 wins. This year, they're projected to win 28.5. And I'm sorry to do this to you guys, any Chicago Bulls fans out there. I'm going under. You guys just don't have any defenders on your squad. Zach LaVine's going to want to score. Lauri Markkanen's going to want to score. I think they're going to be an entertaining team to watch. They might score a lot of points. I just don't think they're going to win a lot of games. So I'm going under for the Chicago Bulls. Next up, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers. And this is really interesting. Obviously, they don't have LeBron. They won 50 games last year. Their projected wins this year is a lowly 30.5 wins. I'm going over. I think they're going to be in the playoff race. They got a lot of veteran guys on that team. I like Colin Sexton, the rookie. How much he's going to contribute, I'm really not too sure. If Kevin Love can be the Kevin Love that we saw in Minnesota, they're going to be in play for the 8th seed. and they definitely have to get way more than 30 wins to do that. So I'm going over for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Next up, we got the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to go slight over. I do think this is a team that's also going to be in play for the 7th or 8th seed. They definitely have to win more than 40 games, so I'm going over with this. It could be great. It could be terrible. We're going to wait and find out, but I believe in the Pistons. Dwayne Casey, solid coach to get you into the playoffs, so I'm going over for Detroit. Next up, we got the Indiana Pacers, 46.5 wins. Last year, they won 48. So they're saying they're going to take a step back, and I get the logic. They're not going to sneak up on a lot of people. Last year, we didn't really think the Pacers were going to be good. We thought they were going to be a lottery team. So I understand this logic, but I'm going to go slight over. I think they still win 48 or so games, 46.5. If I'm the Pacers, I'm taking that personally. I think that's a slap in the face. We didn't get worse. We added Tyreke Evans. Miles Turner's going to be better. Sabonis is going to be better. And we got Victor Oladipo, who was a top 5 MVP candidate last season. 46.5 wins, definitely going over there. All right, next up, we got the Miami Heat with a projected win total of 41.5. Now, this is interesting. If they do end up trading for a player like Jimmy Butler, this is an easy over. Even if they don't trade for someone, I still think they're going to go over. They're again going to be in play for that bottom bracket of the Eastern Conference, which I think is actually going to be weirdly very competitive. The Miami Heat are definitely one of those teams, so I'm going to give them the over of 41.5. They got a lot of hard players. They got a lot of guys who really play hard, and Eric Spoelstra is a great coach, so I'm going over there. All right, next up, we got the Milwaukee Bucks, 46.5 wins. Last year, they won 44, but everyone is expecting the Greek Freak to have a breakout season. They expect him to win MVP. They just think the Greek Freak is going to step his game up. You got Mike Budenholzer as a new coach. People think he's going to take Giannis to the next level. I agree. I think 46.5 wins. All they got to do for the over is 47. That's easily doable. I think they're going to be a 5th seed or higher. And to be a 5th seed or higher in the East, you have to win about 47 games. So I'm definitely going over for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, next up, we got the New York Knicks at 31.5, which would be a 2-win improvement over last season's record with 29, but I just don't see it. I think I'm going under here. Kristaps Porzingis, when is he coming back? They might just Kawhi Leonard that situation, not playing him a lot. They might tank. They might try to get a high draft pick to attract free agents. I just don't see it happening. I like Kevin Knox. I like Tim Hardaway Jr., I just don't think they're going to win 32 games. I think they're going to be at the lower end of the conference. And again, health is going to be a big issue with them. So I'm going under for the Knicks. But I actually think that the over for them isn't a crazy idea. So we got to watch out for the Knicks this season for sure. Next up, we got the Orlando Magic. I don't have to think about this. Last year, they won 25. This year, the projected wins is 30.5. A 5-win improvement. Did they really get that much better? Is Mo Bamba, I know he's got a song named after him. Is Mo Bamba worth 5 wins? I don't think so. I'm going under. They don't have a point guard. Their last good point guard was Jameer Nelson, and that was years ago. So I'm going under for the Orlando Magic. I just don't see it. All right, next up, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. Under Armour's new athlete, Joel Embiid, obviously coming back this year stronger than ever. Last year, they won 52 games. This year, they're looking at 54.5. I want to go over. I like this team. I think Markelle Fultz is going to be good. Love Ben Simmons. Love Joel Embiid. They did lose a couple of key role players like Ilyasova and Marco Bellinelli. So I think they're going to actually win the same amount of games. 52, 53, maybe 54. So I'm going slight under. But that is no knock on the 76ers. I do think they're a very competitive team. Solid squad. I just think they're going to be the same team in terms of wins as they were last year. So I'm going slight under. Next up, we got the Toronto Raptors. Now, last year, they won 59 games, and the projected win total is 54.5. That doesn't make too much sense to me because they're coming back with supposedly a better coach, the same role players who are in another year, so they will improve, and they replaced DeMar DeRozan with Kawhi Leonard. I'm going over on Toronto. I think that is about as close as a guarantee as you can get. Toronto getting at least 55 wins. Easy money right there. All right, last but not least, for the Eastern Conference, we got the Washington Wizards, Last year, 43 wins. This year, they're expected to get 44. I'm going to go, you know what? I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to go with the over. I think they got too much talent not to win 45 games. I think they're around 47 to 48. So I'm going a slight over for the Washington Wizards. But there we go. That was the Eastern Conference. Before we head over to the West, let's just quickly recap. Hawks under, Celtics over, Brooklyn over, Charlotte over, Bulls under, Cavs over, Detroit over, Pacers over, Miami over, Milwaukee over, Knicks, Magic, Sixers under, Raptors, Wizards over. Now let's head over to the Western Conference. All right, so the first team in the Western Conference are the Dallas Mavericks. Their projected win total is 35.5. Last year, they won 24 games, and you guys already know I'm going over on this. I really like the Dallas Mavericks. I think they're going to be a play for the playoffs. I think Luka Doncic is the Rookie of the Year, and their starting five is not too bad. You got Dennis Smith, Luka, Wesley Matthews, Harrison Barnes, and DeAndre Jordan. I mean, I don't know if those guys are going to start, but I do think the Mavs are going to finish with those five guys on the floor. And that's a pretty solid squad. So I'm definitely going over because to make the playoffs, they definitely have to get more than 36 wins. And I think the Mavericks are going to be in play for the 7th or the 8th seed. All right, next up, we got the Denver Nuggets, and I'm already picking the slight over for them. I think they're going to win about 48 to 49 games. Last year, I did not think they were ready for the playoffs, and they proved me right. But this year, I think it's time. Their bench is better. Michael Porter Jr. might be really good for them when he gets back healthy. They got Isaiah Thomas coming off of the bench. Another year of Jokic, Jamal Murray. Paul Millsap had a bad year last year. I'm looking for him to bounce back. 46 wins. All they got to do is 47 for the over. I think that's a very easy task for this Nuggets team, so I'm going over. All right, next up, we got the Golden State Warriors. Now, this is pretty high. The projected win is 64.5. They have to get 65 games. The Warriors won 58 last year. Now, obviously, they added Boogie Cousins, but we're not really too sure when he's going to come back and who's going to start for him in place at the center position. Damian Jones, Kevon Looney. I'm not really too sure how that's going to work out. I don't know. I'm going slight under. 65 wins is a lot. That's what they won in 2015. I think they win maybe 60 games, but more 58 to 61 wins, somewhere in between there. So I'm going slight under for the Golden State Warriors. They're still going to be dominant, though. There's no question about it. All right, next up, we got the Houston Rockets. Last year, monster year for Houston. They won 65 games. This year, they're projected to win 56.5. Now, this is going to be tough. I can see the Rockets doing really well, but I would just go the slight over here. I think 57 to 59 wins is really their sweet spot. I mean, they lost a lot of their role players. Trevor Ariza, Mbah Moute. Will Chris Paul have a bounce back year from that injury? I'm not too sure, but I just think the Rockets are too good offensively. I think they might be a really good regular season, so I'm going a slight over for the Houston Rockets at 56.5. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, this is interesting. Projected win is 38.5. Last year, they won 42, and I think they got better. I mean, I see no reason to give them the slight over here. To make the playoffs in the West, you have to get about 46 to 46 to 48 wins. Do I think the Clippers will get that? I don't know, but I do think they'll easily get at least 39 wins. They were banged up last year. Gallinari was hurt. So I think this year they're going to be healthy and they're easily going to get 39 wins. All right, so next up are my Los Angeles Lakers. Their projected win is 49.5. I don't got to think about this. We got LeBron James. I think he's listening to this narrative of LeBron's throwing this year. These young guys, can they win? LeBron's just taking the year off. They're going to be on fire. I think LeBron's going to win MVP. I think 55 wins easy for this squad. They're going to be at least a 5th seed, a 4th seed. And to do that, you have to get about 52 wins. So Los Angeles for the over. Easy money right there. Next up, we got the Memphis Grizzlies at 32.5. Now, look, last year, terrible year, but they were banged up. Mike Conley really didn't play. Marc Gasol was just really going through the motions. And I really like Jaren Jackson Jr. They might be a sleeper 8th or 7th seed, so I'm going over for them. they got a lot of good role players. And again, they got 2 stars. Whether they trade them or not, I'm not too sure. But Memphis Grizzlies, I'm going slight over for them. Next up, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, this is a very interesting team because are they going to trade Jimmy Butler? I don't think they are. Now, last year they won 47, but Jimmy was hurt. And when he was on the team and they had a full squad, they did play really well. I don't know. I want to go slight over, but I could just see them trading Jimmy. This record falling off the cliff. I got to go under. I just have a gut feeling that it's not going to go well, whether or not they trade Jimmy Butler. So I'm going slight under for the Minnesota Timberwolves. It does not look good for them this season. Next up, we got the New Orleans Pelicans at 43.5 wins. I'm going to go over here because I think they still got a lot of good guys on the squad. Obviously, they don't have Rondo or Boogie, but they got Randall. They got Elfrid Payton, who's not terrible. He can fill in that slot, play a couple minutes, and I think Anthony Davis is going to have a breakout year. He'll be damned if Anthony Davis misses the playoffs. I don't think they are. And if they end up with 44 wins, they are going to miss the playoffs. So I'm going slight over for the Pelicans. Next up, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder at 48 wins. This is right around what they won last year. I'm going to go over. I think they're a 50-win team. I think they're going to be an excellent regular season team. So I think they're going to be a great regular season team and not so great of a playoff team, or at least as good as they were in the regular season. So I'm going slight over for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Next up, we got the Phoenix Suns at 27.5 wins. Now, I like the slight over here. I think 28 to 32 wins is good for them. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but they did improve. Booker's back. Ayton is here. They got some veteran leadership. So I'm going slight over for the Phoenix Suns here. Next up, we got the Portland Trailblazers at 42.5. Last year, they won 49. Now, this is interesting. This tells me that people think the Blazers are going to make a trade on either CJ McCollum or Damian Lillard. I hope it's Damian Lillard to the Los Angeles Lakers, my favorite player on my favorite team. That would be awesome. So I'm going to go slight under here. Now, if they keep Dame and CJ, I'm screwed here. I think they easily win 43 games at least. Dame has only missed the playoffs 1 time in his career. So I'm going to go slight under because I think it's time to trade Damian Lillard. Whether it's to the Lakers or not, I think it's time to split it up. Next up, we got the Sacramento Kings at 26.5. This is tough. I like the Kings. I really do. I just don't think they're ready. I think they're a year away from being a year away. So I'm going slight under. This would mean that they would actually lose more games than they did last year, but I think they're just going to give a lot of their young players reps to see who they're going to keep moving forward because they don't have their draft pick this year, so there's no reason for them to tank. I think they're just going to get their young guys out there. They're not going to know how to win. They might get some nice stats, but I don't think it's going to translate to wins. And plus, the West got tougher, so I'm going under for the Kings. All right, next up, we got the San Antonio Spurs at 45.5 wins. I'm going over here. Look, guys, I don't doubt the Spurs until it actually happens before my eyes. They got DeMar DeRozan. Kawhi basically didn't play last year, and they replaced Kawhi with an all-NBA shooting guard. So I'm going over here. I know DeJounte Murray had an injury. A couple of other guys on their roster are banged up, but I'm still going over. I need to believe it before I need to see it before I believe it that the Spurs cannot make the playoffs. And to make the playoffs in the West, you need at least 46 wins. So I'm going over. All right, last but not least, we got the Utah Jazz at 48.5. Look, guys, I'm going over. I think this team is too well coached. I think that they're a team that is going to be great in the regular season. They might tread water or take a step back in the playoffs, but I think they're going to play harder than every team every night, and that's going to translate to a lot of regular season wins. I think 49 to 52 wins for them is perfect. So Utah Jazz, I'm going to slight over. All right, so there you guys have it. Those are my over-under predictions for this upcoming season. I can't wait for tonight, opening night. It's going to be lit. Be sure to enter this contest with the link in the description box below. Be sure to subscribe to my All NBA podcast with my new co-host, Ray, with the link in the description box below as well. I'm going to link Apple Podcasts as well as Google Play. Subscribe to this channel for more NBA content just like this. My name is Jaron. It's been great having you. I'll catch you in the next one. Enjoy opening night.